A very good evening. Welcome back to Highlight Crafts and Live Shopping. So we've had a bit of a thing today, again. 11 o'clock, you couldn't shop. And we were going to do storage in this hour, but we decided that we'd do another hour of the Tattered Lace USB for you, or the download for you, that we launched this morning, myself and Stephanie, because you couldn't shop at 11, and I was showing you all sorts of stuff, and that would have been frustrating if you then couldn't put it in your basket and check out. So we're going to do that tonight. Now, we've got an all-girl team on tonight. We've got our Sophie doing production.
Hiya.
There you go. We've got Sam. She's out the warehouse. We've dug her out. We've dug a big tunnel down through the floor that goes right into our creative department and comes up. So if she goes missing, we know where she is, because we're pulling her. We're like that. Come back, Sam. Come back. Now she's warehouse manager. We don't see her as much, and it's not fair. So first of all, let me tell you where you can watch and how you can shop. So you can watch us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I know. And also on our website, which is highlightcrafts.com. If you're going to shop with us on Facebook or Instagram, we're going to show you a product, and that product will have a code. And all you need to do is type shop and then that code into the comments underneath the video. So you don't need to miss a second of what I'm teaching you, which is great. Or the deals, more importantly. Then we're going to send you a message which will land in your social media inbox. And in that message, you will find a link. To check out, you're going to click that link, and that will take you to the login page on highlightcrafts.com. Log into your account, and then you can check that out. Now, on a download, there's no postage, and it's instant. So the sooner you check out, the sooner you can be crafting. If you're going to shop with us on our website, you can literally add the items that you want to your basket just by clicking on them. And then you'll get a little red shopping bag appear at the top of your screen. And when you're ready to check out, click on that button. That will take you to our website, and you can log in, and then you can check out. Make sure that you're logging in, because if you don't log in and you just check out, you don't get your club discount, your loyalty points, or your free shipping over £35. So it's really important that you're logging into an account. If you haven't got one, open one, because it's free to join, and it's also free for the club as well. Now, the other thing that you can do is you can go onto highlightcrafts.com, and you can click on the banner that's on the home page that says Shop Today's Deals, and you can see all the deals and all the items we're going to bring you in all the shows. So if you're struggling to get over £35 but you want that free shipping, you can do that as well, which is great, isn't it? Right, let's have a look at this download then, because this is tremendous. So many moons ago, when we launched the ScanNCut, Stephanie came up to me at CHA, which is a big trade show in America, and said, if our customers buy a ScanNCut and they buy a tattered lace die, they can cut out the die in black, put it inside a scanning mat, scan it in, save it to the machine's memory, and play around with it. And her exact words were, they're going to do it anyway, let's make it guilt-free. Okay, so that was how it all started with the tattered lace designs for ScanNCut. Then I went to a meeting with Brother, and the guys from Japan flew over, and we're all sat around this board table, and they said, so do you know that these are our new designs for our cards? And I went, oh, right, okay. And they went, are you not sure? So I typed in tattered lace. I went, you do know your machines will work with things like this, don't you? And they were like, what? I was like, yeah. So we changed from die cutting it out, because you still had to buy the piece of metal, and we converted them to USBs. So we did all the editing that would have needed to be done from a die cut to make it work on ScanNCut. So 3mm turning point, line width, all of that kind of thing. And we started to bring them to you on USBs, and they flew. Now, right at the beginning, there was $79.99. In fact, Amanda was on cameras this morning when we were doing this, and she said, I bought each one of these, and they were all $79.99. I think the best price we ever did them as a deal was $44.99. You're going to get 4 of them, the contents of 4 of those USBs, 4 of my favourites, actually. And all it's going to cost you today is $39.99, because we did a thing last night, me and Stephanie. Everybody had gone home, and she came in here. In fact, I can show you. Look at this. These are my post-it notes. So it was $24.99. We knocked it down to £12.99, then she went, no, let's do it at £12.49. Well, they're £12.50 actually, so bar a penny. And you've got 4 different ones. Now, normally what we do is do them at £24.99 each, or you can buy the bundle for £49.99. This time, we wanted to give you the option to buy them at a good price individually, but still give you a better deal if you bought the bundle. So let's go through exactly what you're going to get, and we'll go through them all, and then you can see and you can make an informed decision then. So first of all, this is my favourite. Absolutely love this. And there's so much you can do with this content. Because I've taken you into Canvas Workspace quite a lot recently, you'll be familiar now with how we divide, how we can put shapes in panels, how we can do all that kind of thing. And we're going to go into Canvas tonight and show you how a little bit of workarounds for some things as well. But it's absolutely gorgeous. If someone said to you, tattered lace, this would be the thing that you would probably think of. You've got everything from your frames, you've got your corners that are in there, you've got beautiful corners that you can make into frames, you've got these gorgeous panels. Now think about all those card shapes that you've got either as a download or the ones that are Amanda's been bringing you recently as templates and SVG files. These panels can go in some of there, which is superb. So that's your first one. If you want that one by itself, it's shop lace and it's £12.50. I mean, good grief. Right, we're coming down the counter, Sam. If you want typically tattered lace, that is shop typically, is that right? Typical, sorry, shop typical, and that is £12.50. But what I want you to look at is this. So look at that candle, and the candle's lovely and it'll be beautiful on a Christmas card, but look at the detail inside it. That's the bit I want you to be able to get to, and that bit, because then you've got a border and you've got a flourish. It's incredible. All of these different layers that you get, that you can build up. You take a look at that one, the fretwork lace. It's got 2 elements. We can split that down and get at least 4 different things out of that one. That's the joy of buying digitally. Okay, and Stephanie said to me this morning, you know, $39.99 for all 4. You'd probably buy 2 of these bigger die sets for that, and the rest you would have cost you a fortune. And I love the fact that we're doing this. I think it's great. So if you want that one, it's shop typical, £12.50. If you want this one, which is our Art Deco, and I know Nancy had a big hand in this one. This was one of her favourites, and I love this because you've got the Art Deco Christmas shopping. You've got the Art Deco doorway, which would be wonderful on a Christmas card. You've got things like corners, lampposts. You've got these wonderful scenes. Look at the architectural Art Deco. I had to think about that before I said it. Art Deco Classy Daisy. All of these beautiful, beautiful images. And then all of these. And you've got 2 fonts in there as well. I mean, blinking heck, for £12.50. Piece of cake and a coffee in one of those posh shops, you're nearly at that, aren't you? Shop Deco will get you that one. And last but not by no means least, Shop Glam. Yep, Shop Glam will cost you £12.50. Now, you can buy all of them. So all of these cutting files that you can draw, foil, emboss, paper pierce. In fact, I've just literally just done this with the paper piercing kit because we've got a few left. Look at that. That's 1 corner, and all I've done is flipped it and put it here, grouped that together, flipped it and rotated it, and done that. How beautiful is that? Isn't that stunning? And then you can build up your design inside. So there's so many different things that you can do with it. And if I was sitting at home now and you were here, I would absolutely be investing in this because there's so much variation. We've got a fabulous, fabulous set for you. And we've got some cards. I mean, look how beautiful that is. Isn't that just stunning? That's by our lovely Lou. Isn't that gorgeous? You know, being able to do things like that. But you can make that smaller. You could paper pierce that. You could emboss it on your vellum if that's what you wanted to do. There's so many, many, many more options, and I love that. So that's all of those that we've got for you tonight. So you make your decision. Do you want to buy individuals or do you want to buy all of them? Maybe you already have them on USBs. Absolutely. But it might invigorate, it might, you know, push you to get it back out again and have another play with it. Okay, so that's that one. Right, self-adhesive vinyl now, and we put this on because a lot of these lacy designs will look brilliant in vinyl, and the best thing will be that they're self-adhesive. So you just peel the back off and stick it down. So in this, you're going to get 30 12 by 12s. Now your colours will vary slightly depending on how we put it together in the warehouse. But our Sam, who's now in charge,
Whoop, whoop.
whoop, whoop. Is it nice being in charge, Sam?
A little bit.
A little bit. Do you like it? Do you?
Yeah.
Good. Has promised me that her team will then pick you some speciality ones. Look at these. Look at that. Isn't that fabulous? Mirror vinyl. I know, right? How cool is that? Imagine that, your engagement ring cut out of vinyl. Imagine your high-heeled shoe cut out of that. That would be incredible. So 30 sheets, shop self, $29.99. I love vinyl. And I have to say, the vinyl starter kit, we're out of stock at the moment. We're waiting for brother to get some more back in, is absolutely phenomenal. That blade will cut a snowflake that big, and we'll get all the little detail in it. It's amazing. So shop self will get you that for $29.99. Right, good evening. Let's have a see who's with us tonight. Amanda. Good evening. Good evening, Morwen. Fran's there. Stephanie Best can't come on, but messaged me to send her regards. Oh, thank you for that. That's lovely. I love this. Do you know, we're building this whole community. Sophie, can you do me a favour? And just put the aircon on.
Yeah, no problem.
It's starting again, honestly. Every blinking 10 minutes it's going on. It's driving me crazy. We're building this big community. As many of you will know, our industry is still going through a very turbulent time. We've got big companies closing down, and it's really sad. And what we're trying to do here at Highlight Crafts and Live Shopping is bring as many people together as we can to keep this crafty community going, because people come to it for so many different reasons. They come to it because they're lonely and they've had a loss in their life. They come to it because they're not very well and they need something to keep their mind occupied. We had a lady the other day who said she came to it because one of her therapists recommended craft and she found us and she's never looked back. So there's lots of different reasons, but what's lovely about the community that we're building is everybody is so friendly. And if you get somebody on that's not, they shoo them off. We don't need to do anything anymore. You just clear them out, don't you? You're brilliant. So it's a lovely community, and please spread the word for us, because the bigger we get, the better deals we can bring you, which is really exciting, isn't it? And we've got 2 new people joining us soon that you will recognise, bringing their products to us as well, which is very exciting. So good evening to Alison Morwen, Jean, Diane, Leslie's there, Amanda. We've got Fran. We've got Amanda McLean. We've got Mrs. H999. Hi Mel, you'll know why some of the SVG files aren't working from typical on my ScanNCut. I'm not sure what that means. Typical. Hi Mel, you'll know why some of the SVG files aren't working from typical on my ScanNCut. Mrs. H, can you message me please, mel@highlightcrafts.com, because I'm not sure what you mean by that. Let me know. Okay, let me know which ones, please, and then we can have a look at that. But I've been through quite a lot of these, and they all open because they were tested way back when. So I need to know. It might be, depends on which machine you've got. So I need to know which machine you've got. I also need to know which files, please, and then I can look into that for you. Carol Lewis. Okay, Carol Lewis, didn't realise the time, so we'll just make something to eat whilst listening. Absolutely, Carol. It's great, isn't it? It's fabulous. Amanda Connolly's there, Lorraine's there, Louise is there. Loads of you joining us. Chris, we've got loads of you tonight. Thank you ever so much. We really appreciate you joining us in these hours, because otherwise we're just on our own talking to ourselves, aren't we? Now I have a question for you. Right, so last night, Stephanie, Hannah and I went back to the house, and Carl was out last night. So Stephanie and Hannah had dinner, and then we watched Pretty Woman. So the question is, if you have to go, if you're in need of a really good film, a really good feel-good film, what's your go-to? Mine would be Pretty Woman or Dirty Dancing, if I needed cheering up, because the music in both of them is brilliant, isn't it? And the one-liners are very funny. So let me know what your favourite one is. Good evening from Grimsby, says Veronica. Evening. Hi Tracy, everybody's joining us now. Right, let me talk to you about this vinyl as well. So you're going to get in each pack of this 15 12 by 12, and it's like a chalkboard finish. It's matte, properly matte. And then in each pack, you're also going to get a 12 by 12 bonus sheet of your transfer tape. Now, normally we do these individually. We've done a double pack for you, shot black, $12.99. That's incredible value for money. Things like your sentiments, it's brilliant for. If you're doing some of these as silhouettes, that's going to be perfect. All those tiny intricate shapes that you're going to then have to put the glue on, use your vinyl, it's fabulous. Right, so if you want that, shot black. If you want the white, now this is slightly more expensive because it's printable. So you can cut it down to A4, put it through your printer on your glossy photo settings, and it will print off, and then you can make your own vinyl stickers. How cool is that? It's brilliant, isn't it? Shop white will get you a double pack of that, so 30 sheets with those 2 bonus transfer sheets for $19.99. Now we've got a deal on some A4 card here, which is great. This is a deal and a half. You're going to get 100 sheets. Now this is perfect for your matting and layering. It's also really nice for putting it at the back of some of those lacy panels, or maybe you just want to get it to use for your matting and layering. So 100 sheets, A4. Now just because it's A4 doesn't mean you can't use it on your ScanNCut. You either scan it in, or if you're using a lot of shapes, make your cut area the size of the card, and then it will only work within the parameters of that boundary. So you can make it cut just within the A4, which is brilliant. So you're going to get 100 sheets for $6.99. $6.99. That's crazy, right? Isn't that fantastic? And do you know what? I would get this, and I'll tell you what I'd do with it. If it wasn't quite the right yellow that I wanted, I'd get an alcohol marker, and I'd go down the side of it and just make it darker. Same with all of these colours. If you wanted a deeper orange, or even if you wanted a brown, just go around the edge. At that price, less than 7p a sheet, absolutely I'd be going for that. I think it's a cracking price. Right, shall we go over and do stuff on the ScanNCut, and then we'll come back after if we need to. I want to do some stuff. I want to do some stuff. You know, I've had a really busy day today. We've got some cracking stuff tomorrow. Keep an eye on our socials, because we've got a brilliant little video that David and I did, which is very funny. So, yeah, make sure you watch it. We're a bit naughty, but who cares? Right, Carol Lewis. Oh, sorry. Roadhouse is fabulous. Do you know what? I've never seen that, Amanda. Roadhouse. Is that Patrick Swayze in that? I think it is, isn't it? Roadhouse, is it? I don't know. But sounds good. Oh, The Holiday. Yeah. Oh, I love The Holiday. Jude Law in that. Absolutely. Well, yeah, there's no words, is there really? Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah, like that. Chasing Starlight. Like that one. Dirty Dancing's a good one, isn't it? I love that. I know it's a cliche, but it would have to be Love Actually, says Christine. Mamma Mia for me, says Karen. Officer and a Gentleman, says Sue Lakin. Or Big. Yeah, I love Big. Brilliant. Pretty in Pink, Amanda Connolly. Oh, it's a long time since I've seen that. Yeah, fantastic. Dirty Dancing every time. Steel Magnolias. Yeah, but that makes me cry. Oh, gosh, I do cry. Brilliant. Absolutely fabulous. Thank you, everybody. Rocker Horror Picture Show. Mrs. H999. Well, I've learnt a lot about you from that, haven't I? I love that. I love that. That's one of your favourites, because I love Rocker Horror Show too. It's great. Have you ever been? Have you ever been when they do it? Oh, it's brilliant. You need to go. It's absolutely fabulous. Julie Warlow, evening, everyone. I hope you don't mind me reading this out, Julie. I've been a bit in and out because of the last chemo floored me. I get that. I have been there, done that, got there. Got done good drugs now, though, so fingers crossed I'll feel better soon. Thanks for keeping me sane-ish. Yeah, I know. I get it. It's horrible, isn't it? It's horrible. You don't actually feel ill until you start the treatment, and then you know what ill feels like, don't you? I know. Yep, been there, done that. Absolutely. So, sending you lots of love, mental strength, because that gets you through. And do you know what they said to me? And I'm going to share this with you. I know it's random, but the oncologist said to me, if you, on days when you feel really, 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 really sick and you can't carry on, just think, if it makes you feel that sick, imagine the damage it's doing to that tumour. And that completely changed everything for me. I was like, right, watch this. Because then I was like, okay, well, if I'm being ill, fine, because it's working. That's what I thought. So I hope that helps you. If not, sorry. But yeah, that's brilliant. I think that's fabulous. And yeah, keep going. Keep going, it's worth it. All right. Right, so paper piercing, first of all. Now, we've done quite a bit with paper piercing recently, and we got the kit back in. Now, I think we've got about 9 left, okay? So we don't want to just keep them sitting on the shelves. We want to show you what to do with it, and it's brilliant, I have to say. So we'll talk about this first, then we'll go into canvas and do a bit of that while it's piercing, because that's a good thing to do. Right, so in your kit, you're going to get this mat. So I went to Brother a good few years ago now and said, can we do something that will pierce card and then we can do a design? And they were like, why? I said, well, because first of all, if you're doing parchment, it's lovely to be able to add that pin dot detail in. But secondly, and this is a big thing, if you've got a die, you can get dies and they've got this really fine pin dot detail around and it just makes a difference. So I took one and I showed them and they were like, okay, yeah, I get that. So they went away, but I said, well, what I need is a mat that it can pierce into, because at the time the ScanNCut went down, rotated, met itself and came out. That's the only way it worked. Now this kit, I have to say, is for SDX users only. The mat's too thick to go through the CM and not hit the scanner unit at the back. So I'm talking to SDX customers now. So I said, right, but I'd also like it if it could be black. And they went, why? I said, because if you're doing this on parchment and then you want to scan it in for any reason, you won't be able to see it because it will be white on white. So if we can make this black, then you'll be able to find it. And they were like, okay, we can do that. So they came back. So this mat comes in that starter kit, okay, with this on. Don't try and take it off because you'll damage it. This is the mat that you use for your paper piercing, right? Then you're also going to get these 2 needles. So one, you'll get this holder separately, and these little needles here go into this holder. So you've got a 0.4 and a 0.8. I tend to use the 0.8 a lot more than the 0.4, but you'll find your choice. And then what it does is they had to do an update, which meant that your machine then does this. So it goes down and up, down and up, down and up, down and up. You're also going to get an activation card in there that will give you some designs. Now, you can't resize those designs. And the reason is because if you do, the dots get bigger. So it's very much like your rhinestone starter kit, where you can't resize those either because the circles are set to the size of the rhinestones. But what you can do is take any design, whether it's inside the machine's memory, something you've drawn, a download off a USB or a download, all that kind of thing, and you can make it pierce. And it's blinking brilliant. It's really clever. So I've got a few top tips for you. So first of all, I want you to use a really good quality weight card. We've got a new posh one that's about to hopefully arrive very soon. And we've got a paper connoisseur show tomorrow. I've got some really good, nice card on there. And the thing I would give you the tip with, I'm using my stencil spray again now for another purpose. Now, please don't ever, and I'm saying this quite firmly now, I sound like my mum, ever put spray adhesive on your mat, because that spray will go everywhere, and if it blocks your rollers, you're in trouble. So what we're going to do is do this. We're going to put a little bit of spray adhesive, or the stencil spray, not a regular spray adhesive, use a stencil spray, on the back of the card. And the reason for this is, what I found is, especially when you're doing big designs, I mean, that took 36 minutes to paper pierce. Look how, I mean, it's just beautiful. And it's very subtle, but it's really, really pretty. But what I found was, as the needle goes in, the card gets pushed onto the mat. As it comes out, it wants to lift it. So a little bit of stencil spray on the back will just hold that firmly so that you can then walk away from it and know that it's not going to lift. Because if it lifts, it's like if you've got an air bubble in your card when you put it on your cutting mat. It's like trying to chop a carrot in midair. It's got nothing to, can pierce through the paper, but it hasn't got anything pushing back to give you that detail. So I think what we'll do for this one is set up something that you could use on a card, I think. Shall we do that? And then you can see what it's going to look like. So we're going to work with the basic shapes in here. And I know I've done this a few times, but it's really important because I know that when these last 9 have gone, we won't be able to get more for weeks and weeks. So if you want it, you need to be popping it in your basket. So let's go into our basic shapes and we'll start with, let's do a rounded corner square this time. And I'm just going to set that on the mat. I'm going to add, and we'll add a circle. So we'll go down, we'll just make it really basic, but it'll give you the idea of what you can do. So I'm going to move the circle out the way and I'm going to bring in this shape. I'm changing it, so I go to edit and I'm editing the object. So we're going to resize that and make it slightly bigger. Okay, so we're going to do, let's do it that size. Then we're going to press OK and we're going to create 2 inward offset lines. Right, let me just go into resize and flip that back 2 millimeters for you. And then it makes more sense. Right, so I have got, that's my one shape there, that's my original. Let me just have a look. 154, 151. Right, let's get rid of that one. And let's start that bit again. So select that and we're going to create a 2 millimeter inward. So we're going to go negative now, a 2 millimeter inward offset line. And then we're going to press OK. Now we will always keep the outside edge selected. So what we're then going to do is create a 4 millimeter inward offset line from the original. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is put that circle in the middle of there. So what we're going to do is multiple select everything that's on the mat, press OK because we're finished on that screen. Now we're moving the shape, so we go to our directional arrow buttons and your alignment function, and we're going to align it centrally vertically, centrally horizontally, press OK and tap the screen to release the shapes. Then we're going to zoom in. So we're going to go press OK and we're going to zoom in. And we're going to see which square. So I want the bottom 2 rounded corner squares to be piercing. So you switch it on in your premium functions on your main screen, and then you go into edit and object edit. And that little button there that looks like a needle with lots of dots, that's your dot spacing and your dot line. And you can set the distance between the dots. I mean, it's just crazy. Then we're going to go and use our select arrows and we're going to do the same. Oh, let's do the rectangles first. So I'm going to zoom in, make sure I've got the right one. Zoom into 400% so you can see it clearly. Right, so then I want the next one down from that. So I'm going to use that select arrow again. We'll go to object edit and we'll put that on that one. Now, if you're doing all of them, you can just group it together and it'll do all of them in one go. But because we're going to have one as a cutting and one as a piercing, we're going to change that. So let's work on this circle now. So let's get to the circle and we will create a 2 millimeter inward offset line on this. And again, we'll go back to the original and we'll do, let's do 5 this time. So we've got a different one in the middle than we have on the outside. So you can see the difference. Right, so what I'm going to do now is go in and do the same thing with this. So zoom in. So I want the smallest circle to cut this time so it creates an aperture. So I can put the dot detail on that one and then move with my select arrows to the second circle. We'll get there in a minute. There we go. We'll put object edit and we'll put the dot on that one. All right, and then the other one we're going to keep to cut. So all we do now is multiple select everything, move it up to that top corner. Okay, so I'm going to take my blade out and it works on all SDXs. Okay, doesn't matter whether it's a tattered lace one, 1200, Disney, whatever it is. You see, if you got your Disney one, you could do your Mickey Mouse in the background with all the little dots, couldn't you? Now, just think about, when I'm showing you this, just be aware, oh, hang on, I don't want to do that. Just be aware that when you push this bar down, it doesn't click in place like it does with the blade, but it stays down, so don't worry about that. And then I'm going to put this in here, and we're going to load the mat, and we're going to ask it to start piercing. It's super cool. And I love the fact that you can get these accessory sets. And this, you know, we're talking all the time, aren't we, about how card prices are going through the roof. Hang on, I don't want to cut it, do I? I want to piece it. And this is a really nice way of doing mats and layers because it gives you that impression having those layers. but without the cost of buying card. So this is a really good one. Right, what she's going to do now, look. And it just does it. It's cool, isn't it? I love it. Right, we have a question on the iPad from Lisa. Let's have a look. Lisa, how would you stick down parchment? So the best way to do parchment is to use something like, well, you can get a parchment glue, Pergamano do a glue that you can use, or you can create a wrap. So get your piece of vellum, do whatever you're going to do, score it and leave about 1 inch, and then you can wrap it around the back of the card. So you glue it on the back of your card, not on the front. But have a look, because Pergamano do a glue, I'm sure they do, and that will be made specifically for that. It's all right me saying you could use a PVA glue, but you will see it. The other thing you could do is use brads in the corner, and that's quite nice because you can make that a feature. Or you could use our little dewdrops and put the glue on the underneath the so put your vellum, turn your vellum over so it's back to front, upside down, put your little dots where you want the glue to be, and then put the gemstones over the top of the dots that are on the parchment to cover it up. So there are ways around it, but even a spray adhesive, sometimes you find it. The only other thing I could say is like the Xyron machine, I don't even know if you can get those, that puts edge-to-edge adhesive on, or it could be a double-sided adhesive sheet, but if you put it down wrong, you're stuck. So I'd try one of those other methods. It's a pain, isn't it, vellum? But you could also make little corners if you wanted to, and attach it to that. There are ways around it. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you into Canvas Workspace and show you a few things that we can do, right? And a lot of you might have seen this before, but you know what? When you're learning, it's good to see things a few times over and over and over again, isn't it? And it's good to know that we're gonna work with all this lot. So I've got my USB in my laptop, and I'm going to import it as if I'm working on a non-Wi-Fi enabled machine. So first thing, well, let's do the filigree panel first, because this was a really good one. I brought this on and I wanted to know whether it would divide or not, because remember, all these files were made before we did all of this in Canvas Workspace. So not every single one of them is going to divide. Not every single one of them are you going to be able to put a pattern in a panel, but we have a workaround. So if I show you this is the panel. If I grab all those pieces and try and divide it, it will come up with an error message. And I wanted to show you this purposely so that you knew what to do. So it says it can't execute this operation with an open or an intersecting path. So what that means is either a line that's just there, so not a shape, and it can't, if you imagine you've got a punch of that shape, you can punch it with a punch, but you can't punch a line. It has to be a shape, because otherwise a line just stays where it is. It's not a shape that's complete. That's the thing. It doesn't see that line as a complete shape because it's not, it's a line. So it can't divide it. So there are ways around it. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, well, you can't do it that way. Let's see if you can do it this way. So we're going to move this out of the way. And this is a little bit of patience. It takes a little bit of work, but you know what? It's worth it. So go into your design and have a look. There's a line there, okay? So we can delete that. Now the quickest way to do it is to select one of the lines, press Shift, and just go around and pick up the other lines, because that's what's stopping it, all right? So there's a reason straight away why it won't do it. And now we know the reason, and it's a line. There's also a couple of lines up here. Now, I don't think it spoils the design, personally, but it's entirely up to you. If you think it does, you could just set these as drawing lines and foil them if you wanted to. You could just accept the fact that it won't divide, but this is what you can do with it. But that's not who I am. I don't accept that. I want it to work. So we're going to get it to work. So we're going to put all these little lines. Let me just, I don't even know if I got the right one there. No, I haven't. So just take your time and go in and delete off all these little individual pieces, because for me it's worth it, and I think it'll be worth it for you. If you can get more out of a design by spending, what, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, just deleting off the lines, then I'll do that all day, every day, thank you, because then I can get more out of my design. So let's take this, let's get rid of that one, and that one, and then we've got another few at the bottom. And I know it takes a bit of time, but just sit with your laptop on your knee at night and just sit and do this. I get lost. I could spend hours doing this. I don't take my laptop back to Stephanie's, because if I go upstairs early, sometimes when it's been busy in the office, you know, you need just a bit of quiet, I go upstairs and do this. I don't take my laptop back because I will not sleep. It's terrible. Honestly, I just can't stop. Right, so we're going to have group all of this together now. So we've got rid of all those lines. Well, if we haven't, we'll soon know. So if we go to edit and group, we've now got that piece with all of those lines taken out. So hopefully, she says, when we bring this back in and we align it, so we put it back into the center of that outside rectangle, it will then divide. And then that means that we can do lots of different things with it. So let's go edit and divide and let's see what it does. But it's taking a bit longer than it did before, so that's a good sign. I like it when it does that. And then it should divide that, and then that means that you can put that pattern in all sorts of different panels, okay, which is brilliant. So now you've got that. So this one will cut into your cardstock, and this one will cut out of your cardstock. But let's say you wanted to put that in a, I don't know, a diamond shape, for example. So if we've grouped this one, let's group all of this together, like so. So let's go to edit and group. Let's duplicate it so that we've got two. There we go. And we're going to put one alongside the other. So we're now extending that design, okay? We're just duplicating it and extending it slightly. So I'm looking at the line width between the shapes, and then I'm going to align them both to the top so I know that they're level. And then I'm going to group them together so I can see what it looks like and see if that pattern looks seamless. And actually, that's pretty good, I would say. What do you think, Sophie? Graphic designer?
Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
There you go, see? Oh, look at me getting the seal of approval from a graphic designer. Tell you what, I could do this for a living.
You can't get that many paths on it.
Now that's interesting. Can you divide it with that many paths? Let's see. Well, let's see what the path count is, shall we? So if we go to project and we go to 1, 2, 3, and a path is a design. So it'll tell me it says 2 because I've grouped it now, right? So let's see what happens, Soph. This is interesting, right? And I love doing shows like this because yes, we're here to sell your product, but you know what? You're going to buy it if you want it, aren't you? This is the bit that I would get excited about, and I hope you do at home. If you don't, let me know and I'll change it, because I don't want you sitting there going, oh, she's doing that again. But I think it's really interesting how you can take a shape and do something else. Right, so let's align this and let's see if it's too many paths. It'll be interesting because each machine reads a different number of paths, so it might work on some and not others. So we'll have a see, won't we? Let's divide it, see what we get. Can only say no, can't it? And if it says no, it might work on the PC version, the downloadable version of Canvas, because that's a little bit more powerful, and we are going to come on to that at some point. I need 3 solid days to sit down and learn where everything is, because I know what I'm like. Now, it's taken a long time to do this, so I think it might come up and says no, unexpected error, because sometimes it does that, and it might be because it's too big a design. But you know what? Yeah, they are unexpected error occurred. Now, it might work on your other version of Canvas, but it will cut it. Now, it might not cut it on the CM300 or the 600. Depends how many paths there are. In fact, let's have a look. Let's ungroup it and see. So let's get rid of the rectangle. But it's all these little things that you need to know, because if you don't know them and it's saying no to something, that's when it's frustrating. So I want to teach you all the stuff that means that it's not frustrating, okay? Right, so I'm going to ungroup both of these and then we'll see how many paths there are, because this is the thing. So let's grab all of those pieces, all of them. Go on, keep going down. It's having a bit of a slow day, today's Canvas. It's having a bit of a day. Right, let's go to project and 1, 2, 3, and let's see how many paths there are in it now. 343. So to find out how many lines your machine will read, go into your, in fact we can do it, let me show you. Go into here and go down until you get to machine, I think, version. Yeah, machine information. So this one will read 600 paths. So it will be fine cutting that. Have a look on your CM300. I'm not sure whether it's 300 or 600 paths, but you can play around with that, which is great, isn't it? And I love that. I love that you can do that. So bearing all that in mind, let's get rid of all this lot, put it in the bin. I want to show you what I did with one of the corners, because look, this corner's lovely. And I want to show you how I made it into a frame. So if we go to SVG at the top, and it was the broader, I can't never say that, broderie anglaise, broderie corners. Feels like a really weird word, that. So we're going to choose that, and we're going to go into, this will open up your USB, and then we're going to go into our USB, and we want, oh, way up, bear with, where's my typical tattered lace, 22, there. And you've got all of these. So let's bring on broderie corners, and I want number 1. Okay, so the first thing I do is check that it will divide. Okay, now there's no lines in this, so there shouldn't be a problem. So we're going to grab all this like that, and we're going to edit and divide. And what divide does, because right now the ScanNCut sees that outside shape as a solid and all the little cut pieces sat on top. Dividing punches it through that back and makes it see it as one. Because if I tried to weld 2 of those, it wouldn't work. All the inside detail would disappear. And that's because it sees it as several shapes. And unless all those shapes are touching each other, then it won't work. Okay, so then we've got a corner that cuts out, and we've also got a corner that will cut in. But what happens if we took this corner and grouped it together? Because we might get a different outside edge. Now, I don't know what's going to happen because I haven't done this yet. But that's the exciting bit, right? Fly by the seat of our pants here. Edit and duplicate. And we're going to bring this over here. And we're going to create an offset line around this to create a matte layer. So, first of all, let's do 2mm outward offset line and delete the original. And see if that works, if that gives us enough overlap. Okay, so the way to find out whether it does is to grab all of this. Oh, no, you don't want that bit. Move that out of the way. So grab all of that. Go to edit. You can right click if you want to. And weld that together. There you go. So you've now got a different matte layer, a different outside edge for this than you had on the original. So straight away you've got something different, which is super cool. Okay, brilliant. Anything like these little specks here that you can see there, the little teeny tiny dots that are created, Canvas will get rid of those when it downloads it. So you don't need to worry about that bit either, which is brilliant, right? So first of all, we've got 2 different things that we can do with that, which is fantastic. I love that. So next, let's bring this back in. Now this is going to be big, but I'm doing it big because it's easy for you to see, and you can shrink it back down. This is probably your smallest point, that little one just above that cursor there where that top arrow is pointing at. So as long as that is bigger than 3mm, which it will be because our team has made sure that they will all cut perfectly, you can go slightly smaller. Okay, but slightly smaller. If it gets to a stage where you're like, no, I want it much smaller, just take that piece out. Okay, because all Canvas will delete it for you. Right, so what we're going to do is duplicate this. So we're going to edit and duplicate it once, like that. And then I'm going to go back to edit and I'm going to flip it. Right, we're going to flip it horizontally. So it's back to front. So then all we're going to do is join these 2 together. Now overlapping these, it's a little bit fragile. So you zoom it right in. Don't forget, we're going to put this on a matte layer as well, so it's fine. And you can see there, just where it overlaps there, that's where we're going to weld it, okay? So your zoom function is brilliant. And I have to say, Brother came, because when we talked about bringing you the tattered lace machine, I was like, you know, people are a bit worried about the smaller screen. And the guys at Brother went, actually, what we're hearing now is that it doesn't really matter which machine people are buying. They're using Canvas Workspace more because they love the fact that you can do all these different things. And I was like, okay, well, that's really interesting. And obviously, we sell a wide variety of the different machines with different screen sizes, etc. But that was a really good point, actually. And Stephanie said to me, she said, even the content of the machine, yes, it's important, but we sell so many SVG files now that you could just make up your own content if you wanted to, couldn't you? Right, so this time we're going to go to edit, and we're going to duplicate it. And this time what we're going to do is we're going to flip it vertically. Now you can't do that on your machine. You can flip it horizontally and then rotate it, but this is a different way of doing it. So look at this for a scrapbook page. How fantastic is that going to be? Was that your fingers that just cracked then? Sam, how old are you? 35? Oh God, you're the same age as Matthew, that's scary. And your hands are cracking like that.
Yeah,
That's not good.
I need a knee and a hip as well.
You need a new knee and a hip as well at 35? Blinking heck, love, that's not good. Right, I don't want to click off that. Get off, off. Right, so now we're going to drag a box around this and we're going to weld this. So we're going to go edit and weld. And we now have a frame. Right, now then, yesterday I cut that out. So I want to show you this. Right, so I'll show you all this because this is really cool. I know I'm a bit random tonight, aren't I? But I have loads of stuff I want to tell you and I need to get it all in today. So I cut out that beautiful, how gorgeous is that? Now, if that was a die, that size of metal would probably cost you the best part of £30. Incredible, right? And you can resize it. That's the gorgeous thing about it. Then I created a matte layer, and I created a matte layer that was the same around the outside edge, but smaller on the inside. So we did that. And then I thought, I wonder what it'd look like with the paper piercing behind it. So I got this, and I popped that on there. Sophie, have we done the spin the wheel code?
No.
Can we do it now?
Yeah.
What is it, please?
It's pasta.
Pasta, of course it is. I said, why? She said, because that's what I'm having for my tea. I was like, fair enough. Sorry, I'm so sorry, that's my fault. But look how cool that looks now. And then you take the waste bit that came out the middle, because we're saving our card, aren't we? And you put that behind there. How beautiful does that look? I love it with this paper piercing. What a difference that makes, doesn't it? Isn't that great? And talking of that, I'm going to take this out of here now, because it's finished piercing. And I'm going to put this in now. Now there is a thing. You're going, Mel, you haven't got the right mat in. What are you doing cutting on that mat? You can. I know. It cuts it slightly differently. So, oh, have I taken it off there now? I'm now. Oh, Melanie. Done it now, I'm now. No, I can't do it because I've removed the design to show you how to get in there. Standard. Look back at some of the shows, you'll see. But look how beautiful that is. And it will cut inside here, and it cuts a bit like the rotary cutter cuts. So it does that, stops, that stops, that stops, that stops. And you end up with these little pips. Just push them out, right? But look at what a difference that makes. Now you've got a place for your sentiment. You've got a place for your beautiful design. And then, you know, the world's your oyster. Now, also what you can do with these designs is you can set lines, so the detail lines in this poppy, I went in and I set them as drawing only lines and then foiled them. And then I set the rest of it as cutting only lines, so it then cut that out. How fabulous is that? And all of these designs, in fact, I'm going to go over here now and just recap these designs because I don't want anybody to miss out on this. This is the best deal we've done so far with our tattered lace downloads from the archive. Normally it's $49.99 for all four. We've dropped the price to $39.99. Then you'll get your club discount. Then you'll get your loyalty points. And there's no postage because it's digital. So it's win-win. Thank goodness for that, right? It's brilliant. So now we also normally do the individuals at $24.99. We've dropped those to £12.50. So Shop Glam is going to get you all of those. Now think about what we've just done. You could have all the lines here on the hood of the pram and on the wheels round here foiled and the rest of it cut. You could emboss it onto your vellum if you've got your embossing starter kit. You could do paper piercing if you wanted to. You would still see what the shape was, or you could do it around the outside edge. Loads of different ways of using them. So that's a cracker, Glitz and Glam pattern list. All right, so you're getting all of those for £12.50. Mad, isn't it? I know. Then we've got all of these. All of those alphabets, beautiful deco embellishments. Those out of your vinyl are going to look stunning. You've got these, the Deco Poppy. How different is that for remembrance? That would be amazing. Then you've got, look, just even things like these two. Look at those. Hundreds of different sizes. Flourishes. Hundreds of different sizes. The swirl. You've got the detail on Clara and her dress would look amazing foiled. So it's all these different elements that you can do, and I love that. I love the fact you've got the Christmas elements in there. You've got that beautiful fern with all the baubles hanging down. You've got a lamppost in there. You've got the classic poppy. They're absolutely stunning. Now our next ones, if you want that one, that's Shop Glam. No, sorry, Shop Deco. Thank you. That will get you that one. Then we've got this one. This is Shop Typical. You've got a fan in there. You've got some more oriental elements. So if you've been buying your Eastern elements and all those dyes that we've been bringing you recently, this is going to work with those. You've got a mask. You've got that gorgeous butterfly, all sorts of different ones. But also look at the detail. So the corner there, you know, just those corners there, you could just have those. That detail in the middle, it's just tremendous value for money. Honestly, £12.50. Hannah said to me that yesterday, she went out and she bought 2 coffees at one of those big coffee shops, both of them with oat milk, one for her, one for Simon. It came to the price of this. Oh no, they got a little flapjack between them. It's crazy, isn't it? And it's gone like that. These you're going to have forever. And then my favourite, I do love this one, is the lace. And I love this because you've got so many different elements. We've taken, so it says broader corners. You've got 3 corners and then that lovely flourish in that one file. It's amazing. And then you've got all of these. Now look at the centre of that. That's a whole new label shape that you can do as nesting. You've got your Chantilly panel. Do what we've just done with that. Or divide it first, take the lines out, divide it, and then weld a shape to the middle. Take that shape and weld it to the middle of that. There's so many different things that you can do when you own a ScanNCut and designs like this. And we design them specifically so that you can go in. So when we save our files, and I know I tell you this a lot, but it's really important because you might go off and buy SVG files from somewhere else. We're not deluded. We know that you're going to go off and buy the files that you want from wherever you want to get them from. First of all, you won't be paying £12.50 for that lot. I'll tell you that right now. But secondly, you need to ask how they've been saved. Because if they've been compounded, which means the graphic designer in Illustrator presses a button, like we press a button divide in Canvas, you might not be able to get to all the detail inside and edit it. And that might be the way that they save their files. So we don't do that. And the reason we don't do that is because I want you to be able to get to that detail. So yes, I'm making you go into Canvas Workspace. Yes, I'm making you press divide and do that bit. But oh my goodness, can you imagine if we didn't? You'd have that and that would be it. You'd have that and that would be it. So the reason that we do it this way is because I'm stubborn and I dug my heels in and I wanted you to get the most creativity out of that project. Now, if you've got something like this that doesn't have an obvious outside edge, you can create one because I've just shown you how to do that by creating your offset function. You cannot go wrong when you own something like a ScanNCut, and we've got brilliant deals on at the moment, so check those out. We also now have a ScanNCut club, and the next 3 months have just been launched. So June, July and August, it's scan and then the word 2, and that will get you the next 3 months for $29.99. And even if you're proficient on your ScanNCut, you get SVG files every month, so it's worth it for those. And then come and see what I do with them because it might be something different than you're doing. And we're sharing this brilliant Facebook group. I promise you I'm going to go in there in the next couple of days. I'm just up to my eyes in work at the moment. But it's brilliant to be able to go in there and share all your knowledge and your creativity, and that's what we're about here at Highlight Crafts. Karen, can you use Canvas on an iPad? Yes, you can. Absolutely, you can. It's brilliant. The only thing I find, and this is probably me, to be fair, is when you go like that to highlight a shape and you want to move it, it doesn't always drag as easily as it does on a PC. But you're probably better on an iPad than I am because I'm rubbish on it. I'm not good at touch screen. I tell you, technology and me, honestly, shocking. Yeah, we're about to go on a course as well with work which involves computers. That's going to be fun. God help the teacher. Right, we're going to spin the wheel. Got a winner.
It's drawing now. Hang on.
Lovely.
Okay, the winner is Wendy Blakely.
Wendy Blakely. Well done, Wendy. Right, let's spin that wheel, see what we get. It's good, isn't it? Don't forget to check this out. You won't regret buying this. It's brilliant. Blinking 5 again. 5 and 9. Spin again. Drives me crazy. Wish we could just take those off. Don't land on 9. Thank you. 8. Goodie bag. Oh, Wendy. Won a goodie bag. Messages, darling. Help at Highlight Crafts and we'll get that sorted out. Now, tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, Thrifty Thursday, me and David, he's got something very big to show you. So tune in. See you at 8 o'clock. Bye.